Hello, and welcome to 7th grade English class with teacher Jasmine. And today we will be talking about the past tense and the past perfect tense. It's quite long, I know, but it is in line with the most essential learning competency wherein at the end of the unit or at the end of this module, you should be able to use the past tense and the past perfect tenses correctly in varied contexts. To start with, we've got our guide questions. 1. What is the past tense of the verb? 2. What is the past perfect tense of a verb? And the last one, when do we use the past tense and the past perfect tenses of verbs? Now, this might sound complicated, but trust me, it's really easy once you get the main idea. So, listen carefully. Let's have a review on verbs. So, verbs are action words or words that describe movement or a state of being or your feeling. Like run, it describes a movement. I am a state of being, and I feel or I think. So these are considered verbs. Another point to consider, there are two kinds of verbs. We've got our regular verbs, wherein we just simply add d or ed at the end to make the past tense. However, with irregular verbs, this is the part where we do kind of need to memorize because there isn't really a very clear rule about it. So it's best to just memorize it. Alright, so we're ready for number 1. The simple past tense. It's simple. When do we use the simple past tense? So we use it to describe a series of actions in the past, like I woke up, stretched, went downstairs, and ate my breakfast. So that's just a series, like you woke up, that's action 1, stretching is action 2, went downstairs, action 3, and ate my breakfast, that's your action. That's your fourth action. Another situation, it is used to talk about completed actions in the past wherein we know when it happened. So you have to remember that to use the past tense, we have to know when it happened. So I went to the park last Saturday. We know when it happened. It is also used to talk about actions done within a time frame. Like for example, I watched a K-drama series for 4 hours last night. Then, basically, it is used to describe an action that is completed within a given time in the past, and it is known. So let's see here. We have our spelling rules. I have attached this on your reading material so you can go through that. But basically, we've got here, if it ends with E, just add D. If it ends with a vowel and a Y, we add ed, like stay, stayed. Alright, so just take a look at that. And now, for our irregular verbs, on the green column, that's the present tense. The pinkish orange one, that is the past tense. So you can see here, the words were totally changed. Like be would become was and were. Begin would become began. Or we've got here sit and sat. But of course, we also have the special ones that doesn't change their spelling, like run is still run, let is still let. Okay. So now, let's have the negative form of the simple past tense. We just add did not or didn't plus the simple verb form, not the past tense. So we say I didn't eat dinner, not I didn't ate dinner. Because we are already using did. So did plus the simple form of the verb. Now, another one, I didn't run fast enough. This is correct because run is an irregular verb and the past tense and the past participle of run is also run. For our past perfect tense, we have our pattern had plus the past participle. Now, what is a past participle? This is the, we could say, the past tense of the verb, the past tense of the past tense. You could also use it that way. So here, when do we use the past perfect tense? When an action happened before another action happened in the past. So, going back to the simple past tense, it is used to show a series of actions, right? However, with the past perfect tense, we wanted to focus on on the second action. What happened before? Okay. So after I had brushed my teeth, I went to bed. So in this sentence, yes, you could say I brushed my teeth and went to bed. However, you wanted to focus or highlight the fact that you brushed your teeth before going to bed. We use the past perfect tense. Another one, an action that happened before a specific time in the past. For example, I had worked in Manila for 10 years. You could say I worked in Manila for 10 years between 1966 to 1976, something like that. But in this case, I had worked in Manila for 10 years. It has a specific time, but we don't know when that 10 years is. Was that in the 1980s or 2000s? We don't know. So in this case, we use the past perfect tense. So here is a simple diagram, and we can use this rule used to show which action happened. So usually the first action is in the past perfect tense and the second action is in the simple past. So for example, let's have a comparison. When I arrived home, she cooked dinner. So maybe the implication, or it's like the understanding of this sentence, is that I arrived home, next she cooked dinner. However, when you use the past perfect tense, when I arrived home, she had already cooked dinner. That means she cooked dinner before I arrived home. So the past perfect is the first action that is already happening when you arrived home. Got it? Okay, let's take a moment for that to sink in with a few more examples here. So again, the focus is the sequence of past events. So you could say the baby had cried. That's action 1, that's why it's in the past perfect tense, before her mother came. So first, the baby was crying as seen here on the bracket, and then when the baby cried, then her mother came. Okay. So we've got here a few more list of words in their past participles. So here we have a few rules, but still there are exemption to the exemption of the rules. So you just have to look at it and spend some time to memorize some of it. Now we've got the negative form. We also just put not, so had not or hadn't, plus the past participle. I hadn't eaten dinner and I was hungry. The guard hadn't slept, so that's the first action. So the thief left. So when the thief arrived, the guard was not sleeping, so he left. So we've got here a summary. I worked in Manila for 10 years from 1988 to 1999. So we use here the simple past tense because we know exactly when. In this case, I had worked in Manila for 10 years. We don't know when that 10-year was, so we use the past perfect tense. Okay, it's getting more confusing, but let's go. So here are examples, more examples. So again, we can use time markers such as after, as soon as, by the time, or the past plus the past participle. By the time I had arrived, the meeting ended. So the meeting ended, and then they left as soon as they had seen me. So first action, they saw you, and then they left. They're avoiding you. And last one, by the time I had finished the test, time was up. So your test was late. Okay. So again, it's confusing, but let me share with you a conclusion. Depending on the focus of your sentence, you can use both the simple past tense or the past perfect tense. Just be careful of the form and the usage in the context of your speech or writing. So we don't say that, oh, the past tense is wrong, or using the simple past tense is not right, or you should use the past perfect tense. No, you just have to be consistent, be careful with the form, and of course, when is it suited on your particular situation. So with that in mind, I hope you pay attention to your reading materials that I'm gonna be uploading too. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.